The Eagles have made an important decision in the past few hours, and all signs point to big news coming straight from the Philadelphia Eagles headquarters this week. You already know that Howie Roseman is a top-tier general manager. Nobody makes better calls than he does. I have no doubt that we're in the best possible hands. If you agree, smash that like button. And if you're feeling bold, type it out loud. Howie is the best GM in the NFL. Philadelphia opened their preseason in style, taking down the Bengals 34-27 at Lincoln Financial Field, and while the scoreboard looked good, this game revealed some key truths about where this roster shines and where it's still a little thin. The first big talking point is the cornerback situation opposite Quinyon Mitchell. Kelee Ringo had a rough night, especially in his matchups against Jamar Chase. Yes, Chase is one of the top receivers in football, but Ringo's miscues stood out. Good coverage followed by great offense on the first drive, then a costly whiff on a 36-yard touchdown where he overpursued and failed to throttle down. Adoree Jackson wasn't as shaky, but he didn't flash anything that screamed starter either. It's no wonder the front office moved for Jacorian Bennett, a young corner with legit 4.3 speed who's locked up elite receivers before. Given his top 10 ranking in multiple cornerback metrics last season, Bennett is now firmly in the mix for that starting role. The other defensive concern? Safety. Sidney Brown got the start and showed his trademark aggressiveness, even making a couple of tackles against his brother Chase Brown. But that same hard-hitting style can get him in trouble, as he overpursues and takes poor tackling angles, leading to big plays for opponents. He even dinged his shoulder on one heavy collision. Andrew Mukuba suited up but didn't see the field, and you have to wonder how much Vic Fangio trusts this group right now. Aggressive is great, but not if it means busted coverages in crunch time. Now, for the bright spots, and there were plenty. Tanner McKee once again owned the preseason spotlight. Facing the Bengals starters early, he went 20 of 25 for 252 yards and 2 touchdowns, plus another score on the ground, with no turnovers. This isn't just preseason hype. He's shown the same poise and touch in past games against quality NFL defenses. He throws with anticipation, accuracy, and timing, can work on the run, and consistently gives his receivers a chance. If Jalen Hurts ever missed time, McKee looks capable of winning double-digit games as the starter. That's how good he's been. McKee's chemistry with some young receivers was especially exciting. UDFA Darius Cooper, built like a compact A.J. Brown at 5 feet 10 inches, 210, racked up 6 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown, showing both route craft and physicality after the catch. His 20-yard score was textbook, beating press, using his hands to create space, and hauling in a perfect throw. With Elijah Cooks going down injured and visibly emotional after being carted off, Cooper's stock rises even more in a deep receiver room. Johnny Wilson answered the call, too. The 6 feet 6 inches sixth rounder had 3 catches for 73 yards, winning contested balls and playing big, which wasn't always the case in college. DeVonta Smith, a 5th rounder, didn't post huge numbers but had a sharp punt return and a touchdown reception, reminding coaches why he was drafted. Other standouts included rookie DT Ty Robinson with a sack, UDFA Gabe Hall flashing disruption, and Jacob Sykes making plays in the run game. On the offensive line, Tyler Steen started at right guard and sprung Will Shipley's 38-yard run with a dominant block. Shipley, starting at RB, looked the part as RB2, with A.J. Dillon also running well. Rookie center Drew Kendall, already experienced from college, looks like a solid backup to Cam Jurgens, and Brett Toth handled left guard duties. Defensively, Patrick Johnson continued his preseason knack for big plays, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. had some nice moments, and Jade Campbell made an impact hit on his first snap, though he also drew a penalty. Even with a few sloppy moments, like Miles Hinton's back-to-back penalties and missed interception opportunities by several defenders, this was a strong display of depth. From the 2023 draft class alone, the Eagles are seeing starters, high-level backups, and promising developmental pieces all over the field. This roster is built to withstand injuries and still compete at the highest level, but the secondary's weak spots could be the one thing standing between them and another deep playoff run. What do you think? Is the cornerback job opposite Quinyon Mitchell already Jacorian Bennett's to lose, or will Ringo and Jackson still have a real shot to hold it down? The conversation about that outside corner spot will carry into the next preseason game, but this first one also reminded us how quickly roles can shift when performance and roster depth collide. Jacorian Bennett's arrival wasn't just insurance, it's competition with real stakes. The Eagles are too deep and too talented across the roster to let a starting role be decided by anything but consistent, high-level play. That's the culture here now. You earn your snaps every week. Ringo's size and athletic traits are intriguing, but if his technique and consistency lag, Bennett's experience and proven ability against elite receivers could vault him into the job before week 1. Adoree Jackson, for his part, will need to find a way to stand out, because solid but unspectacular might not cut it in a defense that expects impact plays from every starter. The safety battle is another storyline that feels far from settled. Sidney Brown's energy and aggression are infectious, and the coaching staff loves his physical presence. But the missed tackles and over-pursuit are exactly the kind of things that can cost you games against the NFL's best offenses. Andrew Mukuba's absence from the action was a bit of a mystery in this one, but his skill set might make him a cleaner fit for Vic Fangio's system if he can show range and discipline in practice. The team's schedule is loaded with premier receiving talent, so the margin for error in the secondary will be razor thin. Offensively, though, there's almost no reason for concern. If anything, there's reason for excitement about how many weapons this group can throw at defenses. Tanner McKee's command of the offense and chemistry with multiple receivers was the headline, but the offensive line play was just as encouraging. Tyler Steen looked like a player ready to lock down a starting guard job. Drew Kendall didn't look like a rookie in his snaps at center, and Brett Toth was steady at left guard. These reps are invaluable because one of the biggest hidden keys to a deep playoff run is being able to plug in backups without the offense missing a beat. At running back, Will Shipley's performance confirmed what the coaching staff had been hinting at. He's ready for a big role. His burst through the hole and ability to create in space give this offense a different dimension. A.J. Dillon showed his usual power, and together they form a diverse backfield that can attack defenses in multiple ways. Sean Derek Powell's touchdown run also deserves mention. The jump cut into daylight at 5 feet 8 inches, 180 pounds was the kind of suddenness that could earn him a roster spot as a change of pace back. Defensively, the front seven depth looks like it could be a season-long strength. Ty Robinson's quick hands and explosion off the snap flashed real potential. Gabe Hall and Jacob Sykes provided quality snaps inside, and Patrick Johnson once again proved he can make plays in limited opportunities. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. had the kind of instinctive moments that remind you of his pedigree, and even with some mistakes, players like Jade Campbell showed the raw tools you want to develop. Special teams contributions from guys like DeVonta Smith could also play a role in final roster decisions. His punt return ability might give him the edge in a crowded receiver room, especially with injuries affecting the depth chart. Johnny Wilson's big-body presence is hard to ignore, and if he continues to win contested catches, the Eagles may have to keep him, even if it means making a tough cut somewhere else. Kevin Patullo's play calling deserves its own praise. While the game plan was understandably vanilla, his decision-making on key downs and willingness to stay aggressive in certain situations stood out. It's the kind of approach that keeps the offense sharp without tipping too much of the hand before the regular season. The bottom line from this first preseason game? The Eagles have the talent to weather injuries and the kind of depth that other teams envy. But the secondary's two unsettled spots, outside corner opposite Quinyon Mitchell and the safety pairing, are legitimate concerns that will need answers fast. If they find those answers, this roster looks fully capable of making another Super Bowl push. If you're fired up about what you saw from Tanner McKee, Darius Cooper, and the rest of these young standouts, and you want to stay locked in on every update, every roster battle, and every behind-the-scenes move, make sure you hit that